So this is a continuation of the previous video, and we are going to get into the questions immediately. Now before we do, I would just wanted to redo a question in which as I told you, a quadratic formula must or usually is in the form of ax plus bx is equal to c. Now I wanted to redo a question in where a is not equal to 1. So I'll write down an example. Let's say 3x squared plus 10x minus 8 is equal to 0. Again, 3 is not equal to 1. It's obvious. Okay, so if you remember, a multiplied by c, so we get 3x squared plus 10x minus 24 is equal to 0. Then we factorize which two numbers multiplied to give negative 24 and added to give 10. Those would be negative 2 and negative 2 and 12. Negative 2 times 12 gives negative 24. Negative 2 plus 12 gives 10. Okay, so now what we do, instead of putting them into brackets immediately like we do when a is equal to 1, we'll add an x next to them and put them in the form of plus 12x, one of the numbers is 12, minus 2x, and we don't put negative 24, we put 8, the original number. Okay, 8 is equal to 0. Then we factorize factorize one part of the equation, one part of one of the sides of the equation, which in this case is here, and another. We'll get 3x is the common factor in this part over here. Factor of 3x, x plus 4, and in this case common factor is negative 2x plus 4. Remember, these two must be the same, otherwise there's a problem which has occurred. So what we'll do, we put these into one bracket, so you get 3x minus 2 is equal to x plus 4 and is equal to 0. All this, we split them up, which makes it 3x minus 2 is equal to 0 and x plus 4 is equal to 0. Therefore x is equal to 2 over 3 and x is equal to negative 4. So that was from last lesson. Now we move on to a different case in where we don't have one of these. We don't have one of these. Okay, we don't have either c or we don't have bx. So let's get on. So let's take an example of x squared minus 7x is equal to 0. In this case we have no c. There is no number. So what we will do is we'll factorize it just like we do in quadratic factorization of quadratic equation. We factorize it. The common factor is x minus 7, and we take it as if it were a quadratic equation. Now as you can see, this would, if we added bracket, it would be the x is equal to 0, or yeah, that would be one of them if we divided it, and x minus 7 would be equal to 0. So therefore x is equal to 0 and x is equal to 7. Again, we factorized it. When we did, we get x multiplied x minus 7 is equal to 0. If you put this in brackets, then you can see you can divide them into 2. X is equal to 0, or x minus 7 is equal to 0, and you get this two answers. Let's do another one. Let's say we'll do this one over here, 2x minus 2x squared, or let me do it in a different color. Let's do it in blue. 2x squared minus 2x is equal to 0. Okay, in this case we have two common factors, so one of which is so the common factor is 2x because okay, and x minus 1. Okay, now we'll just cross check that 2x times x is 2x squared, 2x times negative 1 is negative 2x is equal to 0. Now just remember a quick note, anything outside the bracket means that one of the answers is equal to 0. Like in this case, there's only one what should I say, basically there's one this thing outside of, or there's one this thing outside of the bracket. Okay, if there was like a proper, if there was something like this with an mathematical operator, then it would be, you would solve for it. But in this case, it's 2x is equal to 0, which basically means x is equal to 0. So therefore, we know one of the answers is x is equal to 0, and another one would be x minus 1 is equal to 0 in this one. Okay, so therefore x is equal to 1. Let's do, which one should we do? Let's do f. Okay, so I'll erase this one over here, this revision or recap. So what we have over here is a different kind of question, which is 2, or let me write in green. Okay, so we have 2x squared is equal to x over 3. Now here we have a problem. Okay, it is not equal to 0 when there's a variable to the power of 2. It must be put into a form where the right hand side is equal to 0. So as I told you, in order to do that, we move this to this side, and when we do, we subtract x over 3 from this side and from this side. So therefore we get 2x squared minus x over 3 is equal to 0. Now we factorize, and the common factor is x in this case, and that would be 2 minus 2x minus 1 over 3. As you can see, x times 2x is equal to 2x squared, and then you know x. Okay, so now what we'll do, as I told you, if there is any variable or number outside of the brackets and it doesn't have a mathematical operator with another number slash variable, then it would always be equal to one of the answers. So let's say if it was x minus 1 that was the factor, then therefore there would be no answer where x is equal. There might be, but in this case, as you can see, x, there is a value for x where x minus 1, and you can solve for it where it would be x minus 1 is equal to 0, and therefore x is equal to 1. But it's only x that is outside the brackets, and therefore one of the answers of x would be 0. So therefore x is equal to 0, and we solve for this. So 2x minus 1 over 3 is equal to 0. Then what we'll do is 2x is equal to 1 over 3, and then we'll divide the whole thing by 2. So therefore we'll multiply. We can divide by 2 or multiply by 1 over 2. So we'll do multiplication by 1 over 2 times 1 over 2. So therefore x is equal to 1 over 6. So that was that. Now last question, which is kind of easy. What if you have a question and where you can factorize, or the difference of squares? You guys must have heard of the difference of squares, and it's question D, 9x minus 84 is equal to 0. So that you can factorize this by difference of squares, where it's 3x minus 2 and 3x plus 2. If you guys difference of squares okay, and therefore the answers would be opposite. So x is equal to 2 over 3 and x is equal to negative 2 over 3. So I hope you guys did enjoy this video. I kind of rushed this one, but most of you know the difference of squares and how to factorize it. So yeah, please do like, share, subscribe and comment.